The news summary, good evening. The International Monetary Fund has said that the economic performance of Seychelles overall has been very strong and that the government revenue and spending should also go with adequate social programs. The head of the IMF mission in Seychelles was speaking during a press conference at the end of a 2 week visit for the third review of the economic program supported by the IMF. The completion of the review has allowed the authorities to draw the equivalent of $8.7 million, bringing total disbursements under the current Extended Fund Facility Program to about $72.6 million. This program is aimed at bringing reforms on revenue administration, public financial management, and governance.
Our takeaway very quickly is that the economic rebound that started last year has gathered steam and has been even stronger this year. So growth is going to be a little more robust than we anticipated, around 10.6%. Inflation has been relatively subdued this year. So I think on the fiscal side, fiscal consolidation pace has been also a little stronger than we envisaged at the beginning of the program, thanks to effort from the government side, but also an improvement in the international environment. With that, I think debt vulnerabilities also have gone down substantially, and we anticipate that debt should be able to come around 50% of GDP over the medium term, let's say roughly around 2026. Now, of course, this country is a small state with very sensitive, right, to the international environment. So in that sense, I think it's important for the government to keep pushing, making progress in implementing the program and implementing reforms so that it can build buffers for the future.
The National Assembly has approved amendments to the Employment Act to provide special provisions for the payment of 13th-month pay to workers for the year 2022. A bill presented by the Minister for Employment and Social Affairs, Patricia Francoeur. Before presenting the amendments, she reminded members of the Assembly that the government announced in September last year that the 13th-month pay will be based on performance, but it will take effect as of next year. As for this year, a 13th-month pay of 50% of a worker's basic salary is guaranteed, and the other 50% will be paid according to a performance appraisal and will be exempted from tax deductions. President Wever Ramkalawan joined the rest of the world to thank and give respects to teachers, whom he called the biggest pillars of society. Mr. Ramkalawan's message is to mark World Teachers' Day today. This year's theme is Inspiring Success. President Ramkalawan said it was fitting, taking into account that among the many roles teachers have is to be a positive influence on students. President Ramkalawan's message went on to say that today I take the time to recognize the important role teachers play in society. He applauded their efforts in providing emotional and moral support to children as well as their colleagues while taking care of their own emotional welfare and that of their respective families. The Seychellois head of state concluded his message by asking all members of the society to join him to show respect, affection, and gratitude to all teachers. The Seychelles Institute of Teachers Education site held an open day today to commemorate Teachers Week. This was an opportunity for the Institute's students to showcase their work through an exhibition with the aim of encouraging the younger generation to consider teaching as a future career goal. The Minister for Education, Dr. Justin Valentin, reminded the students that teachers are at an important crossroads crossroad of their professional journey. He also called on them to renew their commitment and transform the way they address teaching to fit the demands of the 21st century.
We must admit that teachers are being compelled to evolve, and imperatively, we all must take heed of all those forces that are challenging and shaping the profession. We must evolve and develop accordingly. In the same way as you teach your students to be lifelong learners, you must teach yourself to learn to adapt to this changing society. Despite everything, the teaching profession remains relevant, so you must continue to inspire the young ones. As the Minister for Education, I am committed to work with you to reshape your workload, maintain your high professionalism, and create the desired context for you to grow professionally.
The Minister for Land and Housing, Billy Rangasamy, has expressed his satisfaction at the way various housing projects are progressing. This follows his visit to several project sites where he met with the contractors building the affordable homes at Korgat Estate and Washkaima. Both projects would cost around 24.5 million rupees and are being entirely financed by the government. Minister Rangasamy also visited the condominiums that GICC is constructing at Perseverance as part of a public-private partnership agreement. The minister says that these housing projects represent a new beginning for many families.
I'm very impressed by the fact that the Seychelles Infrastructure Agency is taking the responsibility to supervise and deliver the projects on behalf of my ministry and government, and they are on top of their projects. Everything that I visited, the social housing projects that I visited across, are all progressing well. And here as well, on this site at Perseverance, where GICC has been at work since the beginning of August. They've had 2 months of work, and they've really launched off exceptionally well. And I believe strongly that they will be on track to hit the December 2023 deadline for the first 2 blocks of 10 times 2, so in other words 20 units will be ready by the end of December 2023, and the next 2 I foresee, as per the discussion with the project manager, that they'll deliver that 2 months later, i.e. the end of February 2024. And we have even more exciting solutions coming through. Not far from here at Perseverance, just down the road, we have an extra potentially 100 plus units that we will be launching, again with our PPP partners, private-public partnership partners.
A delegation from the European Union met with President Weva Ramkalawan this morning at State House. The delegation was being led by Ambassador Vincent Deger and comprised of other EU ambassadors from other member states such as France, Romania, and Sweden. There were also representatives from the European Union Naval Forces, EUNAVFOR. During their visit, they briefed the President on their discussions and activities during this mission and the EU political dialogue held yesterday at Eden Bleu. Fishermen and vendors at Cascade that sell their goods at the temporary market can now rejoice after the official opening of a new market this morning.
The new market at Cascade has become the new attraction of the district opposite the Saint André Church, who's the patron of fishermen. Cascade is considered as an active fishing community with the Cascade Lagoon harboring artisanal fishing vessel. The project, which started in 2019, cost 7.6 million Seychelles rupees, of which the European Union funded 5.3 million Seychelles rupees under the 2014 to 2022 Fisheries Partnership Agreement Sectoral Support Program. The new market has 12 gear stores, fish market and fish cleaning area, landing shed, 1 fish shop, 3 gear shops, and 2 offices. In the absence of Minister for Fisheries, Jean-François Ferrari, it was the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Tourism, Sylvestre Radecon, together with the European Union Ambassador for Seychelles, Vincent Deger, who had the honor to reveal the plaque and officially open the new market.
With the increase in artisanal fisheries activity in this community, constrained by the limited facilities, it had become evident to the local and national authorities that a modern fishing port was needed to facilitate the lives of the fishers and the many customers from all over the island who come to Cascade daily to buy their fish. This development has been done through a participatory approach with input from the fishers of Cascade and their association, the MNA, the district administration, and other interested parties. It is through this collaborative effort within the district that today we have a facility that will surely meet the requirements of the community.
Seychelles has developed a very strong industry. It's one of the first export nation in the world in terms of fisheries. So exporting to the rest of the world is important, but taking care of the local communities is even more important in a sense, and we are not forgetting that dimension in our agreement.
And that's it for the news summary. We'll be back at 8 for the Creole News. Bye-bye for now.